Hello, how you doing? You're welcome to the channel. Sorry for starting a bit late because I was starting the stream and then two big transfer news just popped up and I just had to let them go, on X and on Instagram as well. And two young Nigerian players, exciting players, have made moves. So you're having Aurel Noah moving from Beyond Limits to AIK Stockholm. Remember AIK Stockholm, where you had what's his face, Zadok Joanna, where he went and played for an exciting player. They also talked about that move, and now he has made that move to what's called that. He made the move to Brighton, and then they've dipped into that market again, and they've got it, and they've got Aurel Lua. Aurel Lua was on the books of United FC. I think he was on loan from Beyond Limits from what we can get from that. And he has completed his move to AIK Stockholm, and the contract will last until 2030. So, big one for the player. Congratulations to him. And then as well, Wisdom, Daniel James, an exciting winger, has made the move as well to KAA Ghent in Belgium. So, top marks for the player. Congratulations to the player for making that move. Now, it just fits nicely into what we're about to talk about today, which is essentially transfers. What is wrong with how players are being valued? Nigerian players. What is wrong with how players are being valued? What we seem to get about Nigerian players is he's not worth that value. He's not worth that much. He shouldn't be earning that much. And yes, I must start with Victor James Osimhen. Victor Osimhen, right? When it was about making the move to Chelsea, now botch move. Some people were saying his wage demands were way too much, were way too high. He should reduce the wages. I was hearing things that I've never heard of when it comes to football transfers. I never heard of a player maybe playing in AC Milan who wants to make a move to Real Madrid, where Real Madrid would say, you know what, reduce your wages that you earn, your wage you earn at AC Milan. Come to Real Madrid and prove yourself that you're good enough to be at Real Madrid. Then we'll now pay you that money. I never heard of it. Harry Kane moving to Bayern. Never heard of, before we'll love you, Harry Kane, you're a very good player, but before you join us, you must come to Germany, prove yourself that you're good enough to play for Bayern Munich. And so before we start paying you the real salary, you must reduce your wage demands, come to Bayern, prove yourself there, and then when you show yourself that you can score goals, forget all the goals you score for Spurs, forget all the goals you scored for England. You must come to Bayern, reduce your wage demands, and then we can sign you. You never, ever heard that sort of thing before. And I'm sure you've not heard of it before. Even if you're signing a player who's earning $100, right? Oh, United fan, nice for having you on here. Sembro FC, that's a new name now. Are you forming a new club? That sounds like an Italian club's name. But nice having you on here. Nice having you, United fan. Sombrero FC 11. Nice having you on here. So even if you have a Brazilian player, let's say his name is Estevão Juliano, and he's earning €100 a month or wherever in Brazil. If he's going to make a move to Chelsea, Manchester United, wherever, the people at Manchester United will not say, you know what, you are going to reduce your wages. You've been playing academic football in Brazil, reduce your wage demands, and then come to Manchester United, and then after you've proven yourself at Manchester United, you will then earn that much. Then you will now earn that big money. Never ever have I ever heard that before. But when it came to Victor Osimhen, and this was even coming from Nigerian players, from Nigerian content creators, journalists. Oh, you know what? Victor Osimhen is too greedy. Nigerian players stop thinking about money all the time. Value. First off, how do people see Sheldon Egbo? His move hasn't been made official yet. It has been completed, so he's still on trial. Aurel Lua move is what's been completed right now. So on the official handles it's on my X as well, on my Instagram as well, but it's also on the official handle for AIK Football, AIK Stockholm. It's on there as well, and it's on KA again for wisdom. He is a winger, and that's why I keep saying let's stick with wing football. Let's stick with wing football. Let's go on to talk about this, right? So you always get this thing of, oh, that Nigerian player isn't worth that amount. And it doesn't just come from the clubs. It stems from the players. And one thing I want to say about football is this. I'm sure some of you know it, some of you may not know this, but nonetheless, I'll say it, right? What makes you a superstar is not your footballing ability. Now, what allows you, probably some refs, maybe he'll go to the academy. That's what they always do at AIK. They give you a couple of minutes, a couple of games at the academy. Once you show yourself, boom, you're in the first team. That's how it happened with Zadok. Zadok came in, joined the academy, couple of games, and boom, he played for the first team, and now he's the end of his move. So, what makes you a superstar is not your ability on the ball. Now, your ability on the ball, your hard work, your constant going to training, putting in the work, that earns you the right to earn a living from football. That gives you the right to be a footballer that earns £1,000 a week, 1,500 a week, £2,000 a week. Valued at 900,000 euros a week. That's what your hard work gets you. That's where it gets you. It earns you the right to earn a living from football. But, get this, but what makes you a superstar, a mega star, where you're earning £500,000 a week, £600,000 a week, you're attracting £100 million value, is one, the PR around you. The PR around you, the PR around your footballing ecosystem. And then, let's face it, Nigerian football ecosystem, the PR is dead. Secondly, the value add, when you look at the league that Nigeria operates, is so poor. It's so poor. So when players are signed, you don't have that value add. You don't already have the value in the player, so they're signing players from academies. Now, going back to the thing about PR, a Brazilian player, before he even sets foot playing in Brasileiro, before he even sets foot playing in the Serie A, playing in the first division of Brazilian football, he's already worth 20, 30 million before he even sets foot, because you get all the hype from the journalists, from the media, saying, what, this is the new Pele, this is the new superstar, he's the best player in his A bracket. And you see the compilations everywhere from outlets, you'll be getting such rave reviews. And get my point, when I talk about PR, I'm not talking about for players who can't even trap a football, who can't even make a football move from point A to point B. I'm talking about you have talent, but what gets you to that level? What gets you to that superstar level where you attract the huge offer is the PR around you. And then PR comes in two forms. What you get from the media and what people then see people around you do. Like, for instance, Pele and Maradona, they've already set the sort of table for Argentine, Brazilian, and other South American players. They've already set the table for it. They've already set it for these players. So everyone wants to get a piece of Pele, of blessed memory. Everyone wants to get a piece of Maradona, of blessed memory, because of what they've done. And people feel like, if we go into that market right now, we can get some of Pele. And that's why you see players from Santos, the new Pele. And clubs fall over these players. Oh, Pele was so fantastic. If we can only get this new Pele, this guy that is reported to be in that new guy, and the stats are put out there. Oh, this guy scored 40 goals in 35 games. Those stats are put out there. That is part of PR. But in Nigerian context, we have negative PR for our players. And I'll say this. That's why I don't belong to Messi fanboydom or Cristiano Ronaldo fanboydom. I don't belong to any of those, because sometimes it borders on being a cult because of how people support human beings. I don't quite get it. But you see people that would defend Cristiano Ronaldo irrespective of what he does. Cristiano Ronaldo could commit the most heinous crimes and people would like, oh, it's my GOAT, whatever, right? Messi can put his hand on the neck of an opponent And you see Nigerian football fans, big accounts, oh yeah, he's my guy. They'll make all the excuses for him. Enzo Fernandez can come up with his racist diss track, right? And you see Nigerian football fans, oh yeah, he's brilliant, he's wonderful, he's my guy, oh my guy. You see all these things, right? But when it comes to Nigerian players, you see the media outlets, the biggest of them, will be dragging the player down. Is he that good? Does he deserve £100 million move? So when you bring down these players, you reduce the value of these players because you think that gets you some, notoriety, it makes people see you, because that's what a lot of Nigerian media outlets, content creators, that's what they feel. That's what it's like. Okay, if we bring down this player, if we bring down this person, if we deride this person, if we drag this player, then we'll be seen by people. Lots of people will engage with our content. But that is how you destroy these players, and then you're shocked. Oh, why are they going for this player €1 million? Let me tell you something. If the value of your big fish is derided, the value of the small fish won't be uplifted. Let's face it, Victor Osimhen is Nigeria's big guy. Victor Osimhen is Nigeria's best player. He's the most recognizable player. So when you spend your time dragging and deriding Victor Osimhen, and I'm not even saying this, maybe Victor Osimhen is one player, he's not so good, he's just a middle of the road player, journeyman, not so prolific. You can see what he does for you for the Super Eagles. He goes to Napoli, helps them win their title, their first title in over 3 decades, right? Being their leading goal scorer. And then he's supposedly attracts a move to Chelsea, and you feel like, no, he's not such a good player. You begin to deride him. There's one person that has a big profile, a Nigerian person has a big profile. He's talking about Victor Osimhen. And I looked at this guy, I said, is this because you want to earn money, or you truly believe this, or you're just, I don't want to say anything that will be disrespectful to anybody. But he said, you know what, I don't want Victor Osimhen to play for my club, because he'll be, because of how Nigeria. I was like, what are you talking about? One Arsenal fan, I was watching some stream, one Arsenal fan came there. He said something about he doesn't want Victor Osimhen to join Arsenal. Not because he doesn't think Victor Osimhen is good enough, not because he didn't think Victor Osimhen could score goals enough, but he doesn't want Victor Osimhen to come to Arsenal. And I don't know if my Yoruba brothers are out there watching what is Jai in London and all that kind of things, and go to clubs and all that. Like, really? That is where your mind is. Value. Why are Nigerian players' value so low? And that's why I will say this before I continue. That's why I'm happy, because this proves my point. Oreoluwa, right? They've gone back for the AIK football, or AIK Stockholm. They've gone on to sign him. Why? They got Zadok. Zadok was super impressive for them, and they said, you know what? That's Nigerian market. Woo-wee! We are going back in. He came in, he was impressive for academy. He came in, he was impressive, in our, what's it called now? For our first team. And now he shattered our transfer record. 30 million euros overall, 28 million euros guaranteed. Oh, we are going back into that well. We're going to fetch water from that well. Boom, they go in. They've gone in, they've gotten Oreoluwa. Sheldon Egbo is another one that I'm looking at. From my lips to God's ears, he makes it, right? He makes it, impresses who he needs to impress there, and kicks on, right? But it's because they've seen what Zadok has done. Oh yeah, this can give us real value. So when you drag your big fish, you drag your big guy because you feel that makes you some kind of special guy, like you're being objective. Let me say this, if you spank your child for an offense he or she didn't commit, it doesn't make you objective. It makes you an idiot. If someone says, oh, your child stole meat from my pot, and your child actually didn't do it, and you punish that child, that's not you being objective. That's you being stupid. Same thing, a lot of people have done this, right? Oh, Victor Osimhen is a good player. But you watch him each day with your eyes. You see him impress for you, score goals for you with your eyes. Each time Victor Osimhen is not playing for Nigeria, you wonder where the goals are going to come from. And you watch him, he impresses for you, and you say, you know what? Because some guy from Talksport who doesn't even who watches only the Premier League, or not even Talksport. Talksport is a big outlet. Somebody who just creates content like you, who hasn't even seen the player, doesn't even watch Serie A football, maybe watches only Premier League. I said it's not good enough. And like, oh yeah, what's this guy? Oh, he's right. How dense can people be? So PR is super important for players. And I've said it before. PR is not for players who are not good, who can't play football. That's not going to work, right? You're not going to say PR for players who you must have some talent, you must have some ability, you must have some skill, you must be putting in the work already. Then PR gets you that much further, right? Look at Elliot Anderson. Meant to be that guy, 116, but somehow is he worth 116 million pounds? 116 million pounds. Is it really? That's why the value of Nigerian players, one of the reasons though, I'll get to other reasons, the PR is poor. And one of the reasons the PR is poor is a lot of people look at PR for Nigerian players like you're doing them a favor. But what people don't get is if the value and stock of Nigerian players rise, folks like me, folks like you, if you have a YouTube channel, you have a podcast, you have any platform you talk about football, it boosts you as well. Because when maybe Sky Sports wants to look for a Nigerian expert on grassroots football or something, on this player they just signed, who are they going to call? They will look for maybe me, maybe you creating content on X, creating content somewhere. You are the one they're going to look at. Oh, we want to get this expert, this guy, to talk about a Susu player signed from Grassroots FC. Like that's what I'm looking at now. Abdullahi, what's his name? Abdullahi Agbejoye. He's a striker, tall striker. I'm looking at him. So maybe they sign him. They want to know more about him. They come speak to me. They come speak to you. They come speak to people. So when this thing of dragging players, of negative PR, yeah, it may give you some notoriety for a couple of days. It may give you notoriety for a couple of days, and that's it. But you are never going to be considered as an expert. And that's why I want to say for the PR game, Nigeria has to look at Brazil. They've mastered that art. They've mastered it and they've made it an art form. I'm not quite sure if it's related to I'll do some research, but I'm not quite sure if it's related to Angelo. I'm not quite sure. But so they've got it down to an art form. You hear a player, they'll say, oh, this wonder kid, 16-year-old wonder kid, there's no one close to him, not 2 years younger than him, not 2 years older than him, no one in his age class, right? But the moment that player gets signed, by an European club, 2 shakes later, boom, oh, this is Eduardo da Silva dos Santos. He is the next best thing. People are even saying he's better than the previous player. And clubs will go again. Not to say these players are not good, but that hype, that PR, it helps push them. I said on top of the show, right? What makes a player a superstar is not hard work. Hard work gives you the right to be a professional footballer, to earn money from football. £1,000, £2,000 to earn money from football. But what pushes you that step further? 2 things. The PR around you, and then how you're able to embrace the pressure that you face from playing at a higher level. That's it. Calvin Phillips, the PR, the hype, he had some ability playing for Leeds United, very good. The PR, the hype pushed him to Man City, but the ability to absorb the pressure that comes with being at Man City, that's where he failed. That's why he's not a superstar. Elliot Anderson, leaving Nottingham Forest for 116 big ones to join Man City, is the PR that's pushed him there. Now, he does have some ability. The question is would he now be able to absorb the pressure? Because losing at Man City, dropping points at Man City, It's a disaster. Your performances are now more under the microscope. So that's for him to decide, right? If he gets to that point and becomes that. And then the other thing that affects the value of these players. So somebody says academy football is carrying football development. Nigeria beyond limits, Inter Lagos, Sporting Lagos, Question FC, Econa Lives, etc. Yeah, it is. That is another issue. We're coming to that point, right? Ordinarily, in the UK or not US, their system is just money based and point, so they're not worth mentioning. So UK, Spain, Italy, 8 years old, you're already part of a structure. Maybe not with the main team, you're not a professional in any way, but you're part of a structure where you know your football career is kind of guaranteed if you keep progressing. You're already part of that football structure. Nigerian teams do not embrace the grassroots. They don't sign. They should be signing these grassroots players. And then the hype game around these academies is poor. The hype and PR game around the NPFL is poor. Look at the NPFL. I don't know those of you who also check what I post on the channel community field. There's an unveiling. Abia Warriors. They unveiled the player, and I was so ashamed of that of the unveiling. I was so ashamed. Because it just felt like, what is this? The guy wore some flip-flops and a weird shirt and Nigerian Super Eagles shirt. I don't know if it's the original one or the fake one, but he wore Nigerian Super Eagles shirt, and it was said to be unveiled by Abia Warriors. What? What? So all these things go to the value add for these players. And that is why when I react the way I react when the likes of your Jamie Carragher talk about AFCON, deride it. They know what you're doing. Believe me, he does know what he's doing. Devalue Nigerian football. So if you have people who don't even understand Nigerian football deriding it and you join them to deride it, you don't know what you're doing. Yes, you might have like a 60,000 views on that post or video, whatever you do, but you're debasing the value of Nigerian football community in general, including yourself, not just that player. Now, it's okay to say a player is not good enough if the player is not good enough. I say it all day. I said isn't good enough. Ndidi isn't what is right now. It's okay. But when you see a player who is good enough, you begin to deride the player right off the bat. That destroys the value of that player. And now go back to Osimhen again to say this. Your big guy, if you devalue your big guy, the superstar. Can you imagine if Messi was devalued when he was coming up? Oh, who is this short kid? He doesn't have strength. Why are we going to sign him? Then every other young Argentine player would not suddenly have high value because Messi is the standard for Argentine talent. Then everyone else underneath, every other youngster underneath, obviously you can't get Messi. When he was at Barca, you wouldn't be able to get him. And now the age is that you're not going to sign him, so you want to get the next Messi. And what Victor Osimhen's move to the Premier League would have done for Nigerian strikers, maybe you don't have a card that's going to Venezia. Maybe you don't have a card that's going to Venezia. Maybe he goes to a club who is saying, oh, if Victor Osimhen can be doing this for a Chelsea, then yeah, maybe we can't get him, but we can get someone else who is a bit of Osimhen. That's how it works a lot of the time. So the PR game is poor. It's poor. We have a lot of people who make a lot of noise around players. You know, they go on, they keep talking, oh, this player, this. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. Now, to talk about players and really be genuine, you don't need the player to recognize you. That's what sometimes people get wrong. There are players who I've talked about whilst they were, coming up, and they've made big moves right now, and then they don't talk to me anymore, which is fine because I don't do it because anyone should like me. I do it because I love the game. I'm passionate about the game. I want to see Nigerian players do well. So Nigerian players are doing well. I'm happy, and I know it contributes to the larger market, to the larger football community. So Nigeria's valuation. What's wrong with Nigerian players' valuation? The league. The league. Not just its quality. The quality is shambles, right? It's absolute shambles. That's clear. The quality is shambles. Youth. How the structure around youth development is poor. These grassroots academies, they are the ones actually holding up Nigerian football. Because clubs right now don't come to sign players from MPFL clubs for the most part. They sign from these academies. But the other thing is the PR around the MPFL is poor. The media, the quality around media presentation is poor. In other words, visibility around the Nigerian football scene is poor. It's poor. I guarantee you, if Abdullahi Agbejoye was an European player, people would have been hearing about him because of the goals he's been scoring. If Saka Yusuf was an European player, a Brazilian player, a lot more people would have been hearing about him given the numbers. Abuchi Lawrence, the same thing. A lot more people would have been hearing about the player. It wouldn't have been a niche thing where people have to dig deep to find out. You would have been hearing about it. And with the numbers that we have, almost 200 million people, you should be making a lot more noise. And your passion, and a country that is passionate about football. So when visibility is poor, value is poor. When perception of the player is poor, value is poor. Let me shock you guys with something, right? A lot of English football fans used to rate Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I'm sure that was like a shock to people. Until Sweden played England and Zlatan scored that overhead kick. And then, whoa, he's so good. Oh, wow, so good. But Zlatan has always been a bad boy. Zlatan has always been a bad man. The things he could do, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Top player since he was at Ajax. Top player. From Malmo to Ajax. Top player. But a top player, people didn't quite rate him. Then you can imagine for a player coming from a grassroots level in Nigerian football. So you can imagine that if you keep pressing down these players. That's why the MPFL have to act right? No one is going to come from a different country to improve your league visibility. And neither should they. Right? It's your responsibility, the MPFL, LMC, that still exists, whatever authority that manages the league, manages Nigerian club football. It is left for you now to begin to, right, make the league more visible, put more promotion around the clubs, around the players, so people get to know your players. People get to know your players. People get to see your players. People get to know, what they offer. So that is one of the reasons the PR thing is poor. The PR thing is poor, and the state of the league doesn't help. Because let me tell you this: no Premier League club will come to MPFL and sign a player straight from the MPFL. Not gonna happen. No La Liga club will come to the MPFL and buy a player straight from the MPFL because of how the league is, the quality of the league. Media visibility is poor. Structure of the league is poor. So if all these things are not worked on, you continually have people feeling like the MPFL is not a place where talents can be produced. You continually have that. So the MPFL must act right? You must act right. You must get things in order. You must have a structure. Now, there's this thing about where you've had the is the NC director or something, and I just was commission director coming to say even if it's 7 or 5 clubs that meet the requirement to be able to pay 2 million naira to their players, then that's what the league will start with. You know. But the question is, would he be able to hold on to that? For 1 second, would he be able to hold on to that? Hmm. So would he be able to hold on to that? That is a question. To that sort of, would I say value, not valuation, to that sort of standard. Because that's what Nigerian football needs. People who are able to say, this is the standard and we're going to hold on to it. So before I continue, just to say transfers that have happened, 2 big ones. Nigerian talent Oreoluwa has moved to AIK Stockholm, and maybe he plays with the academy. Top talent has made that move. Wisdom, Daniel James has made the move as well. He's gone to KAA Ghent, and I think there's that possibility of starting in that league. I'm also hearing talks about Rafiu Durushimi could be going to play for KRC Ghent, and could be going to play for KRC Ghent. So mhm. Yeah, so back to what we're talking about. Sorry for that distraction a bit. So we're talking about what is wrong with Nigerian players' valuation. Now, a lot of us, some people have said, oh, the European clubs, the way they look at Nigerian players and all that. Yeah, the way what people don't place so much premium on things they don't really know that much about. And that's why I go back to the overall football community PR. If you're not sending out the right messages, the right vibes, the right visible evidence to the world about your players, whether they're grassroots players, whether they're NPFL players, you're not going to get European clubs looking at your players at the same level that they look at Brazilian players, South American talent. Because I tell you this, there was this player for Gremio, before he even set foot, before he played a game for Gremio, he was already worth 25 million euros. Already, before he played the game for them. Yeah, the guy exactly that. So that video, the guy wore slippers. So he was already worth 25 million euros because he had all the hype around him. Of course, he had some ability. Get my word, mark my word. It's not that a player doesn't have ability. You say he's Messi. No, the player would have some ability, and then you have their PR and media community around Brazil saying, "Oh, this is the next big thing. He's an amazing talent. He's, Gremio see him as their own answer to Pele." And European scouts come to watch, and everyone falling over themselves to get these players, and are paying top dollar for the players. You're paying top dollar for the players. And then you look at the grassroots scene in Nigeria. No PR around these players, no media visibility around these players. And I tell you, if you spend any time watching grassroots football in Nigeria, you don't need to prop up their talent. You don't need to say, this guy is not what he is. You don't need to say, oh, this guy, maybe a guy can't talk with football. You say, oh, he's a master talent. Because they already have the skill, they already have the ability. It's for you to talk about what they're showing you, what you can see with your eyes. Like Abuchi Lawrence, is it 24, 25 goals this season with another 6 assists? Saka Yusuf blowing minds with the numbers he's hitting as well for beyond limits. Think about it. Look at what the academies are doing in Gotia Cup. Smashing team 17-0. Smashing team 17-0. Where is the push for these players? So they're already doing it. It's not like you're going to create numbers or create things that are not happening or write some fantasy like Lord of the Rings. These things are already happening. They're doing it. All you have to do is talk about them positively. Because you have some people where Nigerian players sign for a club, they look for some negative thing, the slightest thing. Oh, this one will get Dada. Oh, this one will play test. Just saying go focus for football. What? But you would see a Brazilian player, you see an Argentine player, you'll be in love with their tattoos. Oh, I love their tattoos. Yeah? I don't have any issues with anyone having tattoos. If you have tattoos, that's for you, that's good. But you'll be loving tattoos of another player, you'll be loving their hairstyles. But you see a Nigerian player because he has his hair plaited. Oh, this guy with plait hair. Just saying, we play football, so negative. That's the energy you put out there. So the grassroots, the PR and promotion of grassroots players is important. They are doing the business. They're coming up with numbers that a player playing in a Brazilian academy will be coming up with, and the Brazilian media will be hyping up those players, will be pushing up those players forward, propping those players up, increasing their value. Whilst instead of you to do that, you be dropping them down, and that's why one of the reasons I have this channel. Yes, I love to talk about Super Eagles all day. I love to talk about Premier League football as the league starts. Sombrero FC, aka United fan. You come on here and we'll talk about Premier League football. I love that. But what I even love more so is talking about players that no one gives a chance, right? They are good, they have the ability, but no one really talks about them. And most of the big accounts out there, they wait for the big move and then, whoo. No. It doesn't just start from the big move. The big move, yes, is what catches everyone's eyes, right? It catches everyone's eyes. But the value is created, the value of a player is created right from grassroots level. Erling Haaland's value didn't start at Dortmund. It started all the way down at Mulder. He went to Mulder. He was propped up. He went to Salzburg, RB Salzburg. He was propped up. He went to Dortmund, propped up even more, and then Man City. Again, I'm not saying these players don't have ability. Of course, you must have the ability before the PR makes any meaning. Right? You must have some level of ability. Then the PR, then the media thing, then the visibility. When people say, oh, what's this guy? Look at you, oh, yeah. But if your visibility is poor, then that's it. That's one. And then the league has to be good enough. The MPFL has to be good enough. If the MPFL is really good enough, then you will see clubs coming to sign players from the league. And let me tell you, if a player is signed for 100,000 euros from, let's say, beyond limit, if that player had gone to, let's say, I don't know, Rivers United, maybe, and played well, and the league is seen as a decent league, that player probably goes for 2 million euros, 3 million euros, straight from Nigeria. But if the league's visibility is poor, the league's quality is poor, then a player is not going to be signed for that much money. You have to go the long route of living an economic lifestyle academy, for instance, going into the Swedish league. Then from there you move, and then you move, and then you move, and then you move, and then you move. So that's it. So the league quality has to improve. Grassroots game has to improve. They're doing very well. But visibility is key. Visibility is key. And visibility and PR is beyond just the ability of the players. The technique as well is something that a lot of people outside of Nigeria don't even know. Because I was watching it was a YouTube short. Someone was talking, saying something about Nigerian players, and he was trying to do something good, at least good in quotes. He was saying, why Nigeria produces a lot of strikers. I think I said this on this channel before. It produces a lot of strikers. He said, oh, Nigeria, they produce pacey, they produce strikers. And then he said, maybe because strikers don't need that much training. I'm like, what? So when that kind of idea is sent out there, people feel like, okay, you need to give super high level training to this player for him to know the basics of being a striker or being a top level player because he lacks technique. He's just basically a bull. Power, pace, no technique, no brain cells really working. So that's why when someone from the outside looking in, European club looks at this player, because of the amount of investment we are meant to put in this player, maybe we don't value him 2 million euros or 3 million euros, because if it's a Brazilian, he already comes with that Jogo Bonito, he already comes with the ability, the skill, the flair. So we don't have to do that much. So the value is there. No. He wasn't a Nigerian. He wasn't a Nigerian. He wasn't a Nigerian. So that's it. That's why you have to do. That's why visibility for your league is your responsibility. And when I see people mocking the Saudi Pro League, Nigerians mocking the Saudi Pro League because they support Chelsea, Arsenal, I'm like, you are truly joking. The joke is actually on you, because England will not come and promote your league, and neither should England do that. That's the point. La Liga will not come and promote MPFL, and neither should they be coming to do that. They should be focused on promoting La Liga. So the responsibility to promote MPFL is on MPFL. Exactly. The stereotypes they put out there. Said perfectly. Those are the type of stereotypes that reduce our value, because that's what goes to the value. How much am I going to pay for this person? How much am I going to spend training this person and getting this person up to code? If I'm going to sign this player and I have to invest so much in training this player, then maybe I don't value him as much. Maybe I don't value him as a player who is ready to come in, plug in, and go. And then there's this fake thing that people have sold out there. And that's why I tell people, don't respect, how do I say this? Don't revere anybody's skin tone. You get my point? Whether a person is black, whether a person is white, respect everybody irrespective of their race, their color, their sexuality, whatever, respect. But don't revere, oh, he said it. Oh, yeah, it's true. Because I was watching one stream as well. There was a guy who was talking about Victor Osimhen, and this were his exact state words. This is what he said. He said, I don't quite know Victor Osimhen, but I think he has character issues. Get his statement. I don't quite know Victor Osimhen, but I think he has character issues. And a lot of Nigerians who are watching the stream, they're like, oh yeah, he has character issue. Someone who doesn't know him, an actual kid. This is not Gary Lineker. This is an actual kid on the stream. I call him a kid because I'm ancient, right? An actual kid. I don't quite know Victor Osimhen, but like, how are you able to speak about somebody you don't quite know? How can you say such a thing with your full chest? You don't know the person. I don't quite know him, but I think he doesn't love his wife. What? Imagine me saying that about somebody I don't know. Maybe I just see a guy walk past and say, oh, I don't quite know this guy, but it's like he doesn't love his wife. What? People say that, and Nigerians wrong with it. And other outlets wrong with it. Gary Lineker said it as well. And who was that? I think it was another big Nigerian guy with a big platform. When Gary Lineker said that, with his own version of that statement, he said, oh, is he waiting at the talk? It's not me talking. Bros, even if now you talk, you are wrong. You and your Gary, you're wrong. And I said as much when I responded. And Granit Xhaka has come up on X, not to me, obviously. He came up and he apologized to Victor Osimhen on his The Rest is Football podcast. He came on and he apologized after making that statement. So I say, don't revere anyone's skin, religion, whatever. Don't, because it's English, it must be right. No, it doesn't matter whether now you go or not. Use your brain. Think about it. What is this guy saying? Does it make sense? Is it right? Is it correct? Even if you have issues with what I'm saying, go research yourself. I say it on this channel a lot. If you don't need to believe me, believe your senses, your eyes. Read. Oh, is it true? Like just as I've said, Oreoluwa has signed for AIK. If you don't believe, go and Google, go on X, check. Wisdom has signed for KAA Gent. If you doubt, go and Google, go and check. You probably will see it. No. You will see it. So, no matter how high a pundit is or whoever is, they say things about players and you rush and say attitude issue. That is something that's always shown around. Look at the England game. Let's talk about the England game for a second, right? Do you think Victor Osimhen disappears like Harry Kane disappeared in the game versus Argentina? Do you think Victor Osimhen disappears? Why I'm highlighting Victor Osimhen? Obviously, he's not the only player in Nigeria, but he's our biggest guy. He's a superstar. Whether you like the yellow hairstyle, yellow, he's dyed his hair in, whether you like it or not, whether you like him, whether it's in your friend group or not, whatever. He is Nigeria's biggest star when it comes to football. So when you deride your biggest star's ability, you attack things he does well and say he doesn't do it well because you feel that would give you some minutes in limelight. Don't be shocked when no top 10 Serie A club comes from Akwa Adams. Don't be shocked when it's Venezia, a newly promoted side that wants to send Akwa Adams because you have contributed to devalue the Nigerian player. Now, I see some people that go over the top, like they'll see a player that's just signed for a second division side in Czech Republic. Oh, this guy is superstar, almost better than Messi. No, that's just madness. You're being delusional, right? But give the player his props. When I talk about Zadok Yohana and say the guy is a top player, it's like Lamine Yamal, like, how dare you compare him to Lamine Yamal? What are you talking about? Why shouldn't I compare two teenagers? People say, oh, how dare you use Lamine Yamal as an example? You should have used another person. Because, for one, there are two football players. Secondly, they are teenagers, the same age bracket, right? And I don't worship any human being. How about that? People pick people to worship. Oh, Messi. Oh, Ronaldo. Oh, worship. I don't do that. If your character doesn't match what I want, I say it. If your ability doesn't match what I want, what I expect to see from a player, from my years and years of watching this beautiful game, I'll say it. And that's why I talk about Victor Osimhen. So Victor Osimhen, you brought down his value, you have trickle-down effect. You brought down Victor Osimhen's value, it's going to affect every other player. And let's look at what's happening at Galatasaray, right? Galatasaray, they've gone for Leslie Ugochukwu and they've finalized the deal. A news we talk about here as well. They finalized the deal. He's now a player for Galatasaray, right? A deal around 30 million euros, right? So that goes into it. They've seen Victor Osimhen, oh, top player, exciting player, doing bits for us, scoring goals, back-to-back championships, Super League titles. We're looking for a midfielder. Maybe we go into that market again. Let's go do a little bit for France, obviously, but he's Nigerian as well. So, let's get him in. And the agents, this is where I'll talk about the agents, right? The agents, the representation, the lawyers, or whoever else around these players. First of all, I want to give you your flowers, which is getting a player from Econola FC Academy, from a BADFC, from Sporting Lagos, from Malvern Academy, or from an academy, not so from grassroots football, and bringing them to European football, getting them to a level where they can play for clubs and earn a living and help change the lives of their family. Because even if it's £1,000 a week, £2,000 a week, my brother, that can really help change the lives of these kids forever. You know, earning on a regular basis. Their life will change to begin with, their lives of their family will change to begin with. So, doing that for those players, getting them from that grassroots level to the level where they're playing for European clubs, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. But how do you help build the value around these players? Because I've never seen any Nigerian player have an Adidas shoe or a Nike shoe or a New Balance shoe, whatever company that sponsors them. I've never heard of that. Like Osimhen has his own shoe, but Lamine Yamal has his own. Is it Adidas? Yeah, has his own Adidas sort of shoe. So what are you doing about that? What are you doing about that? How are you helping your players build their brand? How are you pushing out positive news about them? How are you stirring the transfer pot about these players? All this goes to the value of the player. And all the attack on Victor Osimhen's character when he was to be signed, did any agent come up to say it wasn't true, or at least give an alternative opinion, or come on someone's podcast, or maybe come on this channel, who knows, but go appear on any channel, wherever, and speak to it? That's it. The agents, what are you doing? Yes, your first task is to get these players from maybe an academy or one club to your next club, so they earn living and they keep their lives moving. But once you get them to that point where they're earning and they're good, how do you then move them forward? How do you then push them forward? How do you then build around their careers to take them to the next level? Once again, I'll say this. Victor Osimhen, big guy. So if you bring down that big guy, it affects every other person. Every other person. Now, the point I'm making is different from being critical of a player who is not performing. Like I've said, Chukwueze, I'm going to be critical. The day he becomes consistent, I'll give him his props right here on this channel. I will give him his props. No, I don't waste time to give players their props. Once they start delivering, top marks. I'm critical of Iwobi, but he performed well AFCON. I gave him his props. No questions about it. What's his face as well? AFCON, he played well. Indeed, I gave him his props. Bright Society, someone, same thing. And then let's come back to the whole media and PR thing. I'll tell you another story, right? It's like this is story time on this channel, yeah? Story time, yeah. I was watching on the 20 or on the 17, one of the age grade competitions. I think I've said this on here before, but I'll say it again. You had Dom Solanke in that team, you had Sheyi Ojo in that team as well. You had, I think it was Olaina in that team as well, not quite sure. It was Demonikwa in that team. No, Demonikwa wasn't in that team, was in the team afterwards. No, and usually you have the media, the journalist, commentator, and then you have the former professional, ex-professional, ex-football player, that's sort of meant to give analytical insight into the game. So you have both of them, right? Yeah, both of them. And then they were talking. We were talking during that match. We were talking during the game. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Sombrero FC, for that information, for that. Thank you so much. So they were talking during the game, and the journalist commentator was saying, a lot of these players I leave to play for England. We're happy they're playing for England, but they also leave to play for Nigeria. And then so the commentator was, okay, so what do we do to make sure these people play for Nigeria and England and choose England as opposed to playing for what's it called, as opposed to playing for Nigeria? Now that's a valid question, because I would ask the same question. I would want to answer the same question as well. What can Nigeria do if you switch it around? What can Nigeria do to ensure the likes of Noah Ajayi plays for Nigeria as opposed to playing for England for England or Germany for Germany? I would like to give some questions. Maybe you meet his family. What did we get? Well, you're basically going to play for AFCON. They're not. What are you going to win? Achieve playing for Nigeria? So you have this sort of narrative around it, which already points to the fact that when once you play for Nigeria, your value goes down, how you're perceived goes down. So in another topic we'll talk about some other time is why people don't make the switch. Because you make the switch to play for Nigeria, your value drops. Your value drops, how you're perceived drops. So the point I'm making is once that player makes that move and plays for Nigeria, the way the media hypes and talks about the player is done. That's why I say it again. When I was a lot younger, I used to say, oh, English media, why are you this way? You're propping up this player, you are praising this player. Now he's going to play for Nigeria and you're not praising him anymore. But as I grew older, I realized to myself, I said, no, maybe it's not really their position anymore to do it. It's now your responsibility. It's now a responsibility of, Nigerian media, content creators, or whatever, to prop up your own players, to praise your players, to push them up. It is your responsibility to do it. You don't longer rely on what some foreign media will tell you, some Western media will tell you to rate the value of a player. It's on you. So, back to the point, what is wrong with Nigerian players' valuation? Data. How we put out the data, how we create the value metric, how we present values. Now, transfer market, to the best of my knowledge, isn't owned by any African, isn't owned by any Nigerian. I don't think they even have an office based in Nigeria. So they are one of the central points where when you want to know where a player plays, you want to capture data about a player, you want to capture data about the player's value, a transfer market. And we don't have that. Secondly, players get onto transfer markets a lot later than they should do, right? And that's an issue because if your data, if your stats, if your position, it's not out there to the larger footballing world and community and family early, other young players will have a head start on you. Already have that head start on you. Back to the agents, right? Back to the agents. How they affect the valuation of Nigerian players. What is the plan for that player's career? Like I said, I'll give you the flowers for getting a player a move from Econola to AIK or getting a player a move from Beyond Limits to Slavia Praha or DK. But what is the plan? Once that player makes that move there, what is your strategy? What is your strategy? How are you promoting that player? How are you pushing that player forward? That is the next question. You should be creating a lot of value around that player. You should be pushing that. You should be having communications with, other clubs, putting videos of your player. You should have that plan of this is our strategy. You sign this player, you move into Europe, and then we'll now look to see maybe we'll get him to a club in Germany. Maybe we'll look to get him here so that he attracts, so that you can have eyeballs on him. Let's promote this player. Let's talk about him. Let's engage. And that's another thing. I've talked about Nigerian media. I've talked about Nigerian content creators, putting out accurate information about these players, talking about them, hyping them up. But you as agents of these players, you as the rep of these players, you as the person that oversees these players' careers, you should also engage with the media. You should also engage with the media. You should also use social media handles, social media tools to really push the brand of the players. And you should do that, right? You should do that as an agent. That's part of your job. That's part of your job. Because there is this narrative around there that the talents produced in Brazil better than the talents produced in Nigeria. No, that's not completely accurate. Of course, you would have Brazilian talents that are better than Nigerian talents. Of course, you would. Certainly. But you would also have Nigerian talents produced by that are better than the talent produced by Brazilian academies. True. Now, there's one thing that years ago when Rooney was about to sign for Manchester United, you know, and there was this talk about how much would he go, what his valuation be. I think Drogba was signed for, was it 20 something million pounds or something like that. But what was his point? He said Rooney, um, he should be signed. I'll paraphrase this now because I can't get the exact quote. He said he should sign for XY amount because he's English. If Drogba could go for, let's say, 20 million, Rooney should be going for more than that, for 25 million, because he's English. So that is the value that's already placed on these players. So if you don't place that value yourself, no one will place the value on the players. And the football industry is monkey see, monkey do. So when one club signs a player from, let's say, Brazil, and that player is an exciting winger, devastating dribbler, comes up with assists, goals, other clubs like, they got this player from Brazil, did well, they will want to visit that pool again. And that is why, and that's the same thing that has happened with Oreoluwa. Instead of Joanna Impress, they went back to that pool again. But now is to take it to the next level. Take it to that next level. They say one player Sri Lanka at the level. Good, yeah. So that is it, to take it to that next level. Yeah. Another point I want to make is timing is everything, right? Timing is everything. The sort of contract you sign is also very important. Because sometimes you see some players, they go on to sign contracts that have crazy release clauses. And that's one thing that affected Osimhen, to sign with crazy release clauses to begin with, right? And then you can't escape from. Now that's an issue you have to look at when you sign those contracts, right? Rather, your agent could say, let's have, a higher sell-on fee, or a higher sell-on fee than going to insert, a higher buyout clause. So that's something key that players should be on the lookout for, talking about what's wrong with the value of Nigerian players. What is wrong with the value of Nigerian players, the valuation of Nigerian players? Why are Nigerian players looked at and say, oh no, maybe we don't value them as highly. But when you look at players from other parts of the world, their value is at a certain level, even before they do anything for a top flight club. When they're done for a top flight club, they're already valued at a certain level. So that is an issue you need to look at. And then again, we'll move to another thing that you may not think affects the value of Nigerian players or could affect the value of players, but it does. For instance, Nigeria has missed out on this World Cup. This would have been a fine point, a fine selling point for Nigerian players to show what they could do, but they didn't make it to the World Cup. Opportunity for their values to rise dropped. Go to AFCON, not winning AFCON, it really impacts the value of Nigerian players. It really does impact the value of Nigerian players. So yeah. More transfer news to talk about before I go on and then wrap up the video. First off, Rafi Durushimi, KRC Genk are interested in the player as well. So keep an eye out for that one. Maybe it could be finalized by the end of this week. Let's see if it does, because I think that would be a better league for him to go to. So keep your eyes on that one. Oreoluwa has made his move. to AIK Stockholm. Keep your eyes open for that one as well. No, it's already official. So 2030, the contract will last. Wisdom James as well made his move to KAA Ghent. Hopefully he gets to play there. Hopefully he gets to shine. He's a player I've known for some time now. His ability on the ball, his skillful, pacey, a winger. So that's hopefully he gets playing time there and he does shine there. So top marks to him for that one. So you're joining the stream. Thanks for joining. Hope you smash like and subscribe to the channel. What is wrong with Nigerian players? Because right off the bat, people like to say this. I don't think he's worth it. I don't think he's worth that much. I don't think Victor Boniface is worth that much. I don't think Victor Osimhen is worth that much. It's because of certain stereotypes. It's because of certain things like I've said before. If you're just joining, thanks for joining. We talked about media visibility of Nigerian players from the grassroots level, the hype and PR around them, which is a real thing. It is a real thing. Of course, Elliot Anderson has some mobility, but becoming a £160 million player wasn't just down to his ability. It was the hype around him. Esevayo getting signed by Chelsea for how much they signed him for, even before he plays a significant game for Palmeiras, was down to PR as well. Of course, he has the ability. When I say PR, it doesn't just mean, this person has zero ability. No, you have some ability. You have some skill about you, you have something about you, and then the PR pushes you that much further. It then takes you to a level where you can be a star, a superstar, a mega star. Because your hard work gets to the point where you become a decent player earning a living from playing football. But what gets you to the superstar level is the PR push around you. Look at every player that's a star today. They had that push. Neymar had it from Santos. Haaland had that move, had that push all the way from Malta. He had the push, he had the noise about him. Kane has always had that push, even when he wasn't winning titles. You see? Even when he wasn't winning titles, he wasn't being blamed for Spurs not winning titles. Rather, the whole thing was Spurs were not such a good team. You were Spursy. He was just scoring so much goals. He needs to leave Spurs. He needs to leave Spurs. He needs to leave Spurs. There's nothing about, he needs to prove that he can win with Spurs. No. It was, he needs to leave Spurs. His talents are being wasted at Spurs. That was the push around Kane. And fair play, he's gone to Bayern and has shown that the lights there were not too bright for him. And he scored the goals he scored for Bayern, winning league titles. And I'm sure maybe the next Bundesliga title, he's going to win it as well. So that's it. You need that push. And what I want to say to Nigerians out there, dragging players is not sustainable for the entire Nigerian footballing community. It's not a sustainable way for you to become successful. As a community, individual, you can do that and you'll be successful on your own. But for the larger footballing community, it doesn't help. And even if you're making, I don't know, whatever you're making, when you drag players, you don't really give them their due, their just deserve. If you give them their just deserve, you quadruple what you're making now. You have more visibility, you have more notoriety when you give players that just deserve, when you help promote and push these players. Now, you don't need these players to pay you, you don't need them to recognize you, really. If they come to recognize you, good, but you don't need them to recognize you, really. What you need to do is you need to push these players, and the agents need to do more for these players. Helping build their brand, helping push their brand, helping push them forward, helping building an ecosystem around them that puts them in the eyes of the right people. It's all about visibility. The Nigerian league, visibility has to improve. Grassroots football, visibility has to improve. The PR around grassroots has to improve out around MPFL. But MPFL is a more complex thing, not just the PR around it. The quality of the league itself just has to improve. Just has to improve. else, nah, I have to improve so that if clubs from Serie A, if clubs from Ligue 1 are coming to the MPFL to sign players, then immediately the value, if they sign a player 2 million euros, 5 million euros, 10 million euros from the MPFL, immediately it's 10. So by the time that player from Serie A plays two, has moved from MPFL to Serie A and is about to make a move, he'll be moving for real money. He'll be moving for big money. That's the thing. He's moving for big money because the value has now increased. Academies will making money. The value for Nigerian academy players will increase. And then what you then see is a European club will say, if we can sign a player for 10 million, 20 million from a Nigerian club, a first division club, MPFL club, if we go to the academy, maybe we can sign that player for $1 million. So that means the value of the Nigerian player in the academy improves. So the MPFL must improve. Player integration into MPFL football must improve. General narrative around Nigerian players, especially coming from Nigerian media outlets, must change. It definitely must change. If you really want to, if you're really concerned about the value of Nigerian players, if you're not just saying it, why is it? If you're really concerned about it, how you talk about Nigerian players must change. Of course, you call out those who are not performing well, but what do you do to prop up and promote those who are actually performing well, who are actually doing the business, or actually playing well? What do you do? Or do you wait until maybe Real Madrid signs them and then Real Madrid signs player for 30 million, 50 million? No. Before they get to that point, I've said it, branding of players starts from their academy days. It starts from the academy days until they become full-blown professionals, they become stars. That's where it starts. And there is a communal brand. The Brazilian football has this communal brand. You want to get exciting talents? Oh, Brazil. You want to get that top-level, technically gifted player? Oh, La Liga, Spanish player. You have that branding around these players. So you see people are willing to pay top dollar, top pound, top euro for midfielders from Spain. You want to get, for wingers, people are willing to pay top dollar for wingers from Brazil. Check it. That's how it is. So what is the communal branding of Nigerian footballers? We've got the natural things in that. We've got the big, pacey, technically gifted center forwards. We've got the exciting wingers. So what is that communal branding around Nigerian players? It should start right from when they are at the grassroots level, before you get to talk about them when they have signed professional deals for clubs. Because that is where it builds. It starts from the youngsters. That is where the value of players begin. Before they get that big move, before they play for the big club, before a big club becomes interested in them, you must build that value from the academy level. That is where it starts. That is why you see European clubs, they sign Brazilians. It's from the academy. The value begins to brew. They can sign, an European club can sign a player for 20 million euros before he plays a game for the first team, and it's seen as, it's seen as a deal, a bargain. It's seen as a bargain. Oh, bargain! Wow, got this player, this 18-year-old player for 20 million euros. Wow, a bargain. And do you know what's even important to know? They will be right. They will be right, because that player's value will double by the time the player plays a couple of games for in the Brazilian First Division. So these are the things that affect the value of Nigerian players. One, visibility. Poor visibility of Nigerian grassroots football. Poor visibility of the MPFL itself. Poor branding around the league, and then the poor perception, which is poor because of what the MPFL people are doing with the league. That affects the perception of people looking in from outside. So when the perception of the full league is poor, then the perception of the players in the league itself will be poor, irrespective of their ability. When the perception of Nigerian football is poor overall, the perception of the value of the players in the football community will be poor. And value as well is based on how much would I have to invest in this player for this player to be good, for this player to give me value in my team. A lot of clubs see Brazilian players as ready to go. So I can sign this 18-year-old for 20 million euros, and I don't need to waste my time doing so much training around this player. He's ready to come in and give me value. Maybe after a month, he's ready to come in and start giving value. But when you look at the African player with the poor narrative, negative stereotypical narrative that goes on around Nigerian players, it's like, oh, this player technically is not that good. Yes, powerful and pacey, but technically not that good. So that means I have to invest a lot of money to train the player, give him the right nutrition and all that, before we can get this, before we can start getting real value from this player. So I can't afford to pay the same 20 million euros that I will pay for a Brazilian youngster. So maybe if you can get it for €1 million, then that's fine, or even for less, that's fine. Then I can see what we can do. And like I said, the way the Nigerian football is structured, this club wouldn't come to sign players straight off from Nigerian football. Academy guys are trying to get players moves. They really do try. Economic Life Academy, they're trying and all that, right? Beyond Limits, they're trying to get these players this move. They're doing a real good job, but the branding around Nigerian football has to change. And the point I've made, because I'm in the same sort of, I say, industry or community or section or whatever, how you speak about Nigerian players is important. You don't deride the Nigerian player because of what? I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I still have, would I say, the PTSD? I still have this thing in my head as to how Victor Osimhen was talked about when this whole Chelsea move to Chelsea was on. He was talked about like he was chopped liver, more like a sick chopped liver. That's why he was talked about, like he never strapped a football before. Oh, he should his wage demand, he should reduce it and come to Chelsea and prove that he can be a footballer before he can then earn more, and all sorts of things. Things you never hear about players from any part of the world. In other part of the world, you never hear that. You never hear that about when Bayern signed Harry Kane. They didn't say, "Oh, but you play for Spurs, you never won a title." We are used to winning titles at Bayern, so you have to reduce your wage demands. Come to Bayern, show that you can actually perform for a club that goes for the title every season, and then when you do that now, then you can increase your wages. We can pay you what you deserve. No. Estival, playing for Palmeiras, maybe if you don't know it, the English league is better than the Brazilian league. But nobody said, you know what, you're a youngster, you see a kid, you have a lot of years ahead of you, you're playing in a lesser league. Before we can sign you and meet your wage demands, you have to reduce it. Reduce your wage demand. And let's get it. Victor Osimhen's wage demand was not pay me more, was not double it. It was pay me what I earn at Napoli, what I earn at Napoli at that point. So when I was hearing all those things that I've never heard before, like a player should reduce his wages to come to a club when you're a hot prospect, not like you've played your career is about to end, and no, you have to look for a club, a hot prospect. And a lot of Nigerians were championing it. Oh, bring him down. Oh, he should take away. He's too greedy. Nigeria think about money. Every player wants more money. It's just normal. And I think that's one thing we as Nigerians, talking about sports, the Nigerian sports community should embrace is this. Footballers, their world is different from the world you and I live in. So embrace it. So the Spanish player can earn £200,000, £200,000, yes. The English player can earn £200,000. So the Nigerian player as well can earn £200,000. Don't bring the thing, oh, what did this one earn £200,000 for? What did you do? No, if it's giving you the output, if it's giving you the output, then if it's giving you that output, then he should be getting the value. And I say when you chop down the big person, that's why when what's his name, Chris Sutton was talking about Victor Osimhen and the lap, like how you put both players in the same category, is just madness. That Delap is hungrier than Victor Osimhen. I was like, what are you talking about? What are you saying? So when you have those sort of things, pulling down players and demeaning their value, then don't act shocked when other players' value for the Nigerian football community is reduced as well. Because like I said, football ability, your hard work gives you the right to be a professional footballer. But to earn you that big move, to earn you the big payday, you need the PR push around you. And then when you get to the top level, how you can deal with the pressure. That's what then decide to say, okay, you're suitable for this level. So that's where we are with valuation of Nigerian players. That's why first I shocked. Oh, how is Akko Adams going to Venezia? Why is he not going to a bigger club? Why is he not going to Barcelona? Why is he not going to Dortmund? The value is how we build the narrative around Nigerian players. Because I tell you, see 60 million euros, probably that's what they signed a young Brazilian for. Possible. Not a player that's about to step into his prime and a player who has proven that he can score, double digits. But I still think it's an okay move for him to make. Go to Venezia, and if he can prove himself there, maybe move up the table. So that's how I look at it. I want to know how you look at it, and then we'll run through on the transfer news that have made the rounds, focusing mainly on Nigerian transfers concerning Nigerian players. But also talk about all the transfer stories. So yeah, so let's start with Aurel Lua signed, transfer completed for AIK. Let's share this here now. From here and share this. So AIK football dives back into the Nigerian football market after the impressive performance of now Brighton player Zadok Yohana to sign another amazing youngster Aurel Oluwa from Beyond Limits with contract lasting until 2030. Transfer completed, transfer deal done. Happy for the player. I hope he goes there and shines even more. And then we've got Wisdom Daniel James making a move to join KAA Ghent. So another youngster, exciting winger, and that's why I keep saying all these business people who are so, what I say, enamored, so taken over by playing 4-4-2 diamond. I don't quite get it. Nigeria is a winger nation, produce wingers every other day. So deciding that you want to nullify any formation that goes with wingers, it just doesn't make any sense to me. You have wingers all day, from the world-class Ademola Lookman to fresh ones off the production line like Wisdom James, right? You have them, Zadok Yohana, you have all these wingers coming through. You should be embracing wing talents. You should be embracing formations that lend themselves to wing play. Transfer completed, top one for that one. Gotia Cup, they're doing their business there. So and then Arsenal are in again for what's it, Morgan Rogers. See that accelerating the move to sign him. Like Arsenal are really, really on fire this season. And I think that's what you should do. That's what you should do. When you win the league title, you double dip again. You go on. You go there, you get more, you improve your squad, you replenish your squad, you go and you get more talent, you improve your playing staff so that you can defend your title, because right now you have the target on your back. Because previously, Man City were the team to chase. Not really Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool won the league with Arne Slot, but they're not really the team to chase. So Man City were the team to chase. Now Arsenal are the team with the target on their back, so they have to, go in, replenish their squad if they want to compete at the very least, and indeed defend their title. So top marks to them for doing that. And then they've got another winger again that has been confirmed. Arsenal have confirmed signing of transfer of Christos Zolis from Arsenal, signed to Arsenal from Club Brugge. Transfer is completed, 40 million euros. He becomes Arsenal's new winger. So Arsenal replenishing their squad. I wish Chelsea could do the same, but and then speaking about player value, right? So you've got what's his face. I did a short video about him. Victor Eletu. I think he is Nigeria's own version of Modric, but he's gone to Pescara in the Italian Serie C. A lot of people have been saying, "Oh, third division football." I also had a question of third division football. Really, is it where he wants to go? Is it where he wants to be? Is it where he needs to be? This is how I look at it. First off, Serie C shouldn't be where a talent like Victor Eletu should be going to begin with. So I look at it, I feel like it should be higher up. He should be maybe playing in Belgium, or should be playing for at least a newly promoted Serie A side, or playing for Genk or Ghent in the Belgian league or Club Brugge. But that's the thing. And that's the thing about the agents around these players. Now, I'll give them their props again. I'll give them their flowers again. Getting a player from Nigeria to sign for a European club, top marks. It's not an easy thing to do. Believe me, I know. It's not easy, right? So when you're able to do that, top marks. Brilliant, top marks to you for doing that. But after you've done that, what is the next step? What is your plan? Getting that player, from that low-level club or the academy you've got the player in to move to the next level. That is the next thing you answer. And I think whoever his representatives are, they've not done right by him, keeping him so long at AC Milan Futura. But on the flip side, maybe the AC Milan Academy folks have told him, he has a chance, he probably would have game time. But apart from being an unused sub, I think on a used sub, he's had a lot of bench appearances for AC Milan, being on their bench a couple of times. He's not really had significant minutes for AC Milan. So I think having a plan of, okay, yes, we're coming to AC Milan, yes, we're going to Real Madrid Academy, yes, we're going to whichever academy we're going to, but this is the plan for the player. You get there, you discuss with the staff, we like this player, can you get him to, we'd like to get him to play for a newly promoted Belgian club where he can go and play and hone his skills. So while for me, I look at him, I think there are reports linking him to Schalke. They got promoted back to the Bundesliga, and I would love to see him there. Maybe it's good for him to start playing men's football and then build himself up to where he can have clubs in maybe Serie A being interested in him, or maybe clubs in Belgium being interested in him, and things like that. But the one thing I just want to hope is not the case, that it's not the case of his agent getting more money from the Serie C club than maybe a newly promoted club in Belgium. So hopefully that's not the case. Don't know his agent, don't know anything about the deal particularly, the nuts and bolts of it. So I can't say if anything like that happened, but I'm just hoping that's not the case. But I think it's high time he starts playing men's football. And then the question I would ask is, agent, what is your plan for Eletu? What is your plan for Victor Eletu? Right? What is your plan for him? Why I'm interested in Victor Eletu is he is a unique type of midfielder, the type Nigeria doesn't really produce that much of. So he's more deep, so he's someone that controls the game for you. So the question is, he's done it at under 20 level for the Flying Eagles. Now, can he do it at immense football? He's done it at Futura level, academy level. Now, can he do it for what's it called now? Can he actually do it for at men's level? when he's playing with men that are looking to pay their mortgage, that are looking to feed their families. So can he do it at that level? Because the pressure is different, the tackles you have to ride is different, the creativity you have to show is different because it's just more competitive. So that is the question. So I'm dropping the link, but I'll wrapping up the show in about 5 to 10 minutes time. So I'll drop the link on here if you want to join the chat. And so quickly I'll be done with this one here. So drop it on here and I will be done. So, Sean, thanks for joining the show. Almost wrapped up. Thanks for joining the show. We talked about the value of Nigerian players. What's wrong with the value of Nigerian players? So the link, drop it there. Click on it to join the show. About to wrap up. So, thoughts and opinions. Let me know if you're just joining. What's your thoughts and opinions about the value of Nigerian players? And before people join up. I talked about two Nigerian players that have just signed deals, one for KA Ghent, one for um, AIK. So Aurel Lua joined AIK, and then Wisdom James has joined KA Ghent. So hopefully those guys get to get the playing time and get opportunities. And I think they'll get opportunities because the thing with your AIK, they'll give you game time, right? They'll let you play a couple of games for the academy. If you impress, then warm you in the first team, and then the rest is up to you. Zadok Johanna has set the blueprint. Go ahead and do that. So, yeah, talk about this guy. He's made his move. I'm excited for what he will do there. So, just opinions about that one. Bring this up here. Yeah, so
Good afternoon, my brother.
have you on here. How you doing? How you doing? So briefly talking about the value of Nigerian players. Why the value of Nigerian players so low, or not so low? Because for you and me, the money is big money. But when you compare it to other to players from other countries,
One line, Ngolowo.
when, when you compare it to players from other countries,
Sunday,
why
Sunday.
is why is it so low?
That's
And
the
then of
plan.
course, um,
Sorry. No.
yeah, we talk about that. And
Yeah,
then, of course, these
sorry.
three players that have made moves. Yeah, these three players that have made moves.
Um,
First, we have Wisdom Daniel,
no.
who's made a move to Ghent. We have this guy, Aurel Noah, has made a move to AIK Stockholm. He was for Unai Umeya before FC, Umeya FC, and then he moved to join. He was invited to train with them, and then they now signed him. And this guy going to Pascara, joining Pascara City C club that Victor Eletu. So, thoughts and opinions on all of this? Yeah.
First, let's talk about Victor Electric first. Victor played alongside Akinfenmi in 2023, alongside the Benjamin Francis last tournament. And then Victor, the player that doesn't want to develop for me,
Mm-hmm.
depend on the again. Why Pascal?
CDC.
CRC.
Yeah.
That nobody will see. Nobody will see there. Ah, look, I got to go to Belgium. Go to Belgium, like Belgium,
Mm-hmm.
like all those Michelin that will give you more playing time, more visibility. They will still play football.
Mm-hmm.
They will be watching. And he doesn't value. Secondly, he doesn't want to play for Nigeria.
He said he doesn't want
He
to play for
want to
Nigeria.
play for Nigeria. Yes, he want to go to better club side, better club that better
Yes.
football. That
Mm-hmm.
people will see him playing there. Look at the last season. I'm not going to play football after any time now. Now, want to play football. That was him. Go to better club. Go to Sweden. No, we've got to play football. The people will see there and they play better money for you.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all those people, and that's about that. You want to play. You want doesn't value football. Value football. You don't go to Bakara. Bakara for we. And I don't understand. Bakara and CRC. CRC that what was CRC? Not CRB, CRC. That belongs to me.
Yeah.
Secondly, about the value for players. I think one thing is that if you're going to play good football and you're winning tournament, the value will rise.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you are playing like look at Morocco now. They're winning games easily. That's why, and they also try to win title. They try to compete. They go for the best player. That's how they do that again. Look at Unai, leaving leaving La Liga to go and play for Ajax in Holland, leaving
Mm-hmm.
Girona to go and play for Ajax National. Want to work performance. And lack of work of Victor, they're going to work on better market value. And secondly,
Mm-hmm.
after they don't have better again. They don't have good again at all. They work journeyman, not journeyman.
Mm-hmm.
They don't took their money. Look at this boy. Rodrigo Moreira, Rodrigo who plays for uh, Porto in Portugal. 18 years old boy. Market value 30 million pounds. That boy that play for Porto. Rodrigo Moreira is not 18 years old.
Yeah,
He's not 18 years old.
like 70 million or so. Yeah.
So don't with this clause. Look at
Mm-hmm.
Giovanni Pointer. The one that done Africans, just 18 years old. How
Mm-hmm.
much? For 60 million pounds. Look at the Istanbul. How much? For that better agency that
Yeah.
that that
Another
take
thing
that
to say
that
again,
take
in addition to their having better agent, I think because their league is decent, it's not like La Liga level, but it's decent enough to attract attention.
things.
And you have PR around it.
Yes,
Look at MPFL,
yes.
who is going to come and watch it?
Provincial.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the point. But that's the major point. That's the major point. Secondly, and I just planning do more social media, do more. Want to do more things social media.
Mm-hmm.
Create awareness for the show. Like look at this and Yamin now. Yamin Instagram. We do something there. You talk a lot there. Make some your banter thing there. People see that this is a brand. Build your brand. Build your brand yourself. They don't build brand. They don't build brand. They don't build brand at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
So
They are
that's
building brand. They get it. They get it. No, that's about that. It is in Nigeria. Just move to Bologna now today. Nigerian player, defender, left back. We don't know for Oviedo in Spain. Move to
I
move
don't
to
think that guy is no. I think he's Niger. It's Niger Republic though. I think he was born in Nigeria, but he's playing for.
Tamis is in Nigeria. That's Nigeria.
Uh,
That is Nigeria.
I think Fabrizio is wrong, but anyway, let's wait and see how that comes out because I did a little research and I saw that he was born in Nigeria, but he's already cup tied. I mean, cup tied for Niger.
By Nigeria.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I trust your judgment.
yeah. I
That's
just was me. I was excited to see, oh, Nigerian. What's it called? Nigerian defender moving to Bologna, Serie A, good
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Then I checked it.
yeah.
Then I saw that he was born in Abuja, but he's playing for
I
Niger.
will
Yeah.
I will question again. I'm question myself again. I'm
Okay,
question
that's
again. So
yeah. So
that's about that. And about players, about your players, moving abroad, moving to better. It's good for me. It's good. Again, I'm to that was that don't do in general because that don't open the door now. It's good.
yeah, that was the
I
thing,
like that.
and that's what we missed with what's his name with Victor Osimhen. When people were criticizing, I'm like, you don't understand this is beyond Victor Osimhen because that's how football is. If Victor Osimhen came to Chelsea, I'm sorry, played well, which we know he will play well, give you 20 goals or 25 goals, no competition. Other clubs will begin to say, oh, Chelsea have Osimhen, so we can't get him per se, but we can go to the same place that he came from and get
For me,
similar type players.
for me,
You know.
For me, Osimhen for me, Osimhen need to better. I'm giving an example now. When Michael was playing for England,
Mm-hmm.
went to Madrid,
Mm-hmm.
and come to Newcastle. After that, they relegated. He went to Manchester United. Not
Mm-hmm.
for the money, for the playing time. And for the we're not supposed. When you are playing, not play for Chelsea or Arsenal or let's not play as for Milan. Let's play as for Milan now. Not
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea or them. Get a better chance to win a Champions League. I'm doing a world in Africa. I'm playing for Galatasaray. But
Um,
that's the point. That's the point. Because play for a team of Chelsea, give you more visibility, give you more people watch you, do your things. That means I want to keep it. I mean, they think about money, you know. That's why I like, that's why I don't want to look more. You went for went for big, better clothes that give more, and play in better league. Again, we prove. I'll give him drop a bit. I'll drop a bit. That makes me talking. That's the part. That's the I see. I'll drop a bit. That's why I wonder why Aquaman go to that club. I don't know why. But let's see what happens. So I'm money alone. That money that money alone. That's
but
not
for me,
football.
this is where I have some pushback to that. First of all, valid you raise valid point, but this way I have some pushback. This is because okay,
Okay.
Harry Kane, when he was playing for Spurs, he was not winning anything. Yes, he will score the goals, but
Hmm.
they will win nothing. When
Yes.
Bayern wanted to sign him, Bayern did not say, your goals equals empty calories because it doesn't help any team to win anything. So you're coming to us, you have to come and show that you can play for Bayern, prove to us that you can be a guy that can score for a title winning side, reduce your wages,
Hmm.
come and play for us, then we will now pay you. They will now increase your pay. Haaland and Mulder, every time he moved from club to club, his wages increased. When he was leaving Dortmund to
Yes.
come to play
Yes.
for what's it called, Man City, there was
Man
no talk
City.
of reduce your wage, come and prove yourself, come and prove
Like
yourself at Man City.
everything but that to your agency. Better agency get a better deal. That's the part. Better agency get better deal. If we look at this guy now, look at this guy now. Japelis
Mm-hmm.
left without come to Chelsea without no pedigree. And the guy getting better deal for Chelsea. We getting bigger money, bigger money. Now, that's the part. Better agency make it depend for the player side. I don't understand that. Get
Yeah,
a better agency. Look at better agents now. That's why Milan with it. With the way without those work city agents. That's how you work with now. You know those agencies that don't even understand. They'll send the package and go to anywhere.
yeah,
Agency
because
matter most in football career.
because the way football works is sometimes a club will look at and say this agent he represents a lot of exciting players. If I don't deal with him well, I will not have access to sign a couple of these other
That's the
players.
one.
Like for
You know, go on. Okay. Go and check
Jafeli's
with me
agent,
agents.
Jafeli's
Yes.
agent,
Judge
he
Mendes.
owns Portugal. He owns Portugal. Any talent from Portugal is his own. That Judge Mendes. Any Portuguese
Yeah.
talent, young
Yeah.
star coming up is with Chesterfoot as his agency. They're all
Yes, now.
signed to him. You know.
No,
So
but
if
the guy that died. Again, that died. That just passed. That passed on that time.
yeah,
Mino, I very big agent. Very big agent. That's that's big agent. That's all agent. Not agent. I'm giving you. Not agent. I'm giving you that. Take it to Pascal. Take it to yeah, the, to all those obscure club sides they're going to.
funny
That's the
leagues.
point.
Funny leagues. So I think overall the first thing is PR. If you're joining, thanks for joining. You should also be ending. But the first thing is PR around Nigerian football. Poor. That needs to be improved. Visibility around Nigerian league. Poor. Needs to be improved. And then the commentary around Nigerian players even people that create content, social media, and all that, we have that responsibility because we like dragging players just for dragging players. I'm not talking about saying a player is not good enough. We just like dragging players for dragging players peoples, and that does
That
not
needs
help.
that needs to that's
That
it.
does not help because
Before I
this
go,
guy
now
plays, what's his name?
continue, continue,
Boniface
continue.
plays video game and live streams it. I'm betting you, if that was Ronaldo, or let's not even say Ronaldo, if that
Wow.
was a normal European player, it'd be, oh, look at how he's so humble. He's connecting with fans, he's playing game, talking. But for Boniface, a lot of Nigerian people would
Nigeria,
make that
Nigeria.
to be a crime. Would make that to be a
It's
bad
not
thing to
serious.
do. You know, oh, it's
It's not
streaming.
serious.
Who told, so
No,
you want to tell me that if Bayer Leverkusen say we have training every Monday, I don't know, 8 a.m. Boniface won't go. He will be playing game. You know, so those type of things
one
that
more
we
thing.
criticize things that are not meant to be criticized. Oh
One,
yeah, sure.
one more thing. In 2021, during COVID time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
uh, he was the best PS player in player alongside the Jota. In player time. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
the best, the best tournament. And secondly, what's your thought on the Thomas Tuchel and that situation? What's your thought?
Yeah, this one I'll say about is first off, he made some mistakes. He made some, like for me, I always say this, I don't have any problem with a coach saying my team go and defend deep. But when you do that, you need an outlet. You need an outlet. Maybe you get one pacey winger or two pacey wingers. The moment you win the ball, you can put it into space for those people. That's one. But people have been overly critical about Thomas Tuchel, and they have ignored players that are meant to be big men, that are meant to be leaders who underperformed in that game. Elliot Anderson now
Like
is worth
what?
how
Like
much?
who?
Elliot Anderson is worth 160 million back, 160 million pounds.
Yeah,
He's meant
yeah,
to be
yeah.
this midfield general, that can be on the ball, control game. Where was that control that game? Non-existent.
Okay,
And I
let me.
spotted this
Yeah,
Ghana game.
make your point.
Yeah, when Ghana defended deep, I said, "Ah, Elliot Anderson, this is meant to be a game where you step on the ball, like the Pelos, the Rodriguez, you step on the ball and say, okay, everybody go. This people are sitting deep, go. Let me be coordinating this thing with my passes." He's not doing it. Congo game again. I said it. That this is a game you're meant to be on the ball, control this thing. Where was he? He was not existent in that game. The same thing, this one. Also, Hurricane disappeared. Hurricane vanished in this game, but people have their lips sealed because Tuchel is meant to be the scapegoat. Now,
Okay,
let's go
let
to.
me.
I'm coming. I'll just finish and then I'll let you
Continue.
go. 50. When did Thomas Tuchel make his first substitution? 70 plus minutes. That's when he make his first sub. This team had already been decided to defend already. And secondly, people act like England were dominant on the board. They were not dominant anything. They got that goal from a long ball. It came through. Then Argentine defender did overhead kick to clear it. The ball didn't go far. The English player got on the ball, good play, crossed it. Then Gordon scored, good. But after that, even before you had the time for Thomas Tuchel to talk to these boys, they had already been falling back. The only guy in that team that can hold his head high was Bellingham, in my opinion, because he was holding the ball, he was driving as Argentine player, drawing fouls. Harry Kane that's meant to be captain and leader vanished. So when someone like John Terry come out and say something like, "Oh, he's the worst decision ever seen," "Oh, the coach must go," fine. How about calling out the guys that are meant to be your leaders, the big people you pay big, that worth huge transfer fees and everything, that are meant to be your big guys? Where your defenders that could throw their body on the line? Where were they? All of them
I will
big
say.
men, 6'5". You cannot compete with Arturo Martinez for a header. And Tuchel is the problem. So for me, I feel Tuchel, he has his part of the blame. If you want to see deep, great outlet for yourself to hit on the counter, that's one. But the defending, the dropping deep, started way before Tuchel made those substitutions. And a lot of top players
Okay,
vanished. Yeah.
well, let me start with Tuchel. For me,
Yeah.
First of all,
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to compose this team already. You work up the bank for disaster. But I don't understand why you not folding at home. Let's say Papa is not fit. Let's find not fit at all. What about folding?
Mm-hmm.
Folding can drop foul. That means player at number 10. And the help player play very well. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, against Argentina, wait, now, secondly, Saka is injured. And
Mm-hmm.
they do World Cup. They do World Cup based on Saka name. But I don't want Saka on the bench for this kind of match. I don't get that all. I don't get no. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't Saka on the bench for this. I don't know why. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just for me. I don't know at all. Because that's one. Secondly, um, I think the Bellingham is the best guy. Things about that. But that Elliot boy. I don't, what's playing. I don't know. And for me, we are not than born on the play on the pitch. Just Maguire, it's madness. That was our Martinez score. Maguire, like that. I trust but that experience there. The big man mentality. Maguire have that mentality of player. Not playing this way. And for me, that team, they what plus. There's something need World Cup. No. They're playing Premier League score for England at the World Cup. None of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can score 7 goals. Just the way Bellingham and going on. Other player. I think they beat this team. Instead of playing Elliot. Kumena better. Kono game
Mm-hmm.
better in that game. And for himself too, like but that match against Argentina is sport totally because after the goal, before the goal, that's not the film. Why do you move the clan in the field? We are playing sit at the match, playing the concert for what? And the players too. When they're not, and we allow McAllister to play so much. McAllister allow Fernandez to feed really few. That is criminal. I like that good. That play good. Criminal. I like Fernandez that position. It's a go. It's a go. So you go to it, and now they are tired. When you get tired, that's the problem. Better if it when it. We move all the attackers. When you really back six. For what? Back six is bullshit. For me. He has no issue, and the players where to turn up for turn up. All the Premier League players that form there, the Saka, the Madueke, the boy always they have played too much league this season. They put on energy winning the league once time, and they're tired. That's the point. That's the point. For me. And Saka is injured. They just think about the packing the up. But never started again, never started again. Against Norway, come from the bench.
I think your
Never
AC is
started again.
frozen. Are you
Why,
back?
why, why, why? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear
I can
me?
hear you. I can
Why,
hear
why,
you.
why don't starting game? Why? It is why don't start? It is free. Why don't starting game? Why? That's the question. Why don't starting? He's
That's
injured.
a tough
The man,
question to answer.
he's injured. That's fine. He's injured. And don't Palmer. Don't be Foley. For what? That's just a critic class that can make time for you, make you. Put the Palmer. The national playmaker, the national playmaker, the hero. I mean, what the mentality, putting a bit. And when everything with Man City. Why don't you for Elliot? Earlier that don't be for Anderson. That don't play again for England this World Cup. Why that? Why?
Yeah, for
One
me, if you
minute,
wanted to
one
give a
minute.
young midfielder opportunity, it should have been Adam Wharton because he's that kind of guy that can
God bless
really
you. God
control
bless
the
you.
game for you.
God bless you.
Adam Wharton, I think those
God bless
those type
you.
of players they don't hide. Your Mikel, your Rodri,
God bless
your
you.
and they don't hide.
Bless
Once you
you.
see them, you
God bless
know
you.
they can do it because he likes to be on the ball.
And
Anderson is
and Max
tall, it looks like if you want to do a Roger
and
Moore biopic, you
let,
can't
let,
see
let
him
me
as
let me tell them please.
the lead actor.
Max
But
Max really did that. Max did not do that. And I think the flop man, massive. The flop man, you see.
yeah, I think
That was no
that
matter what.
one thing I said, if you go to Man City now, can he play well or if you become another what's they call that guy?
Another
Calvin.
Kevin Phillips. Kevin
Kevin
Phillips.
Phillips. Yeah, whether it be another Calvin Phillips, I don't know. Let's see how that one works out. But overall, England, Eric Chill, I mean, sorry, Tuchel has his share of the blame. Yeah. Maybe they should sign him, who knows? He has his own share of the blame, but England too maybe look inward and say some of these players we see are good are not at the level. Like Elliot Anderson, I watch him. People keep saying he's good. I watch, I look. I try to see what has attracted that kind of high level valuation. I mean, Adam Watson is the guy.
Just
England
just
should
just
build
one just
around.
one
You know,
just one season.
yeah,
Play
one
for
season.
Nottingham Forest that strong
For somebody looking for
that
this
strong
side,
with the
what
league.
116 million. So I look at it, I'm not impressed with him, but he's the one that what's his name Tuchel went for to get as his guy. I don't want it for me. He's a better talent than him, but that's what Tuchel went for. And Tuchel is the easy
Okay, let
mark
me
now to criticize. But the thing is, where are your leaders, the big guys? Somebody was wearing a captain armband. He was missing, absolutely
no
lost.
pass now,
They keep
no pass
praising
now,
him up when he
no
comes
pass
into
really.
midfield. I asked the question at the top of this show. If Victor Osimhen was in this game playing for England, would you not see him more? Because first off, his speed will make you drop back and he will press people. You see Messi, you can say Victor or you press Messi. Victor will run at him the whole day. He will make his life difficult. So that's why I say Nigeria, we are wasting Victor Osimhen. We don't know where he is. So Harry Kane disappeared. He was meant to be your leader, your captain, lost. Elliot Anderson is meant to be this midfield general guy that control midfield, lost, nowhere to be found.
Disappear.
McGay meant to be the lost. McBurn, is the job that you're meant to do as your 6'5". I mean, how tall you are. You
Egg
cannot
ball,
battle, just head the ball.
egg
Don't
ball.
think about crossing it. That's why when I look at Rio Ferdinand, I say no matter how good you are, the fact that Messi won a header against you in that Champions League final is a mark on your career. You cannot wash it off with even bleach because Messi can dribble defender, no problem. I agree, but to jump somebody who is 6'1", between 6'1" and 6'4", and somebody who is like 5'8", I'll jump you and head the ball. There's an issue. So you have defender that cannot win a simple header. It's easy. Tuchel is the easy mark to blame. Oh, you should the substitution. But my question is, when he made that decision, so England let them know what they're going to do. They're going to sack him. Maybe they'll appoint. Who do they appoint? Is it Eddie Howe
No,
to appoint or they appoint
no.
Frank Lampard?
They will not start him
You
up.
know,
They will not
they
start
appoint
him.
Frank Lampard or
They,
from Coventry. Or then
no,
they
yes.
give John Terry has been looking for a job. They should give him that job. Let him coach England. He has been looking
Okay.
for jobs that
Let
they're not
me
giving him job. He should go and coach England. Let's see.
let me build on the sport. Who will the World Cup?
Uh, I feel Spain might win it. Spain might win it now. Spain might win it.
Why this say so?
I just Spain might win it because the way the game is going, the way that Spain they have been lucky, just like Argentina. Forget Argentina, they came back. They have been riding their luck as well. Spain have been riding their luck. Even that Portugal game, it wasn't as there was no difference between them and Portugal. It lost in concentration. Mikel
Yes,
Merino got that chance.
yes,
Boom, he latched
yes.
onto it and scored. And then the France game, people think Spain played that way. Spain did not play that way. It was just France just being silly all through the game, losing possession, making individual
Exactly.
errors. And when you play against a
At
team like
least for
Spain,
me,
individual errors will be punished. So yeah, I
for
think they
me,
have been
for me,
lucky. They may ride their luck into that
for me,
final and win it.
for me, I'll take two things about the final. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
France Spain, I think that game, they should mess up big time. One, I think the mid-selection was a bit wrong. That thing that be and Tchouaméni in the 4-4-3-1, and clearly said, with the best of that game, they play Papa 4-3-3 better for you. And Spain when they shot and they control the game very well. After controlling, and they take the chance when they have it. That's that.
Yeah.
But the
That's it.
final,
Yeah.
Argentina will call. Argentina is premier for me. You know
Okay.
why?
Why?
Argentina that mentality is a monster mentality.
Okay.
That 1-0, they will score you. They never give up. This team is more around look at my Messi factor against Switzerland and against England.
Mm-hmm.
They are most mentally monster when they play football. They are very good when they play football. They are like they shoot they shoot very well. Very well. And when they play and that makes factor that makes factor. They won't have to nominate them. They will not nominate them. What they doing, they'll end up, they'll let him die. You see. I don't even work about they won't work on they won't appear now. Let's say the winning work of like if you start Argentina, it won't work. It won't work for me.
Okay.
That's me. I
That's
think
a fair point. It will not
that's
be a
me.
shock if they win. So I think Spain, you take Argentina. So comment section, let's know. Chat. Who do you think is going to win this World Cup? Argentina or Spain? And then third place player, people are the two teams are saying like they don't want to play it. That's why but they have to play it. You have to play it. Let's feel the bitter
That
taste in your mouth of
that's
playing
it.
third place playoff.
That
Feel the
that's
bitter
crazy.
taste. Feel the bitter taste. Football is not meant only for top European countries. It's meant for everybody.
Yes,
So
so
imagine if Nigeria and let's say I don't know Panama are meant to play third place playoff. They're going to have to play it.
they
So
they be
feel
happy
this
now.
bitter taste in your mouth so that it takes you to the next competition. You don't want to play third place. You want to go final. And your players can stand up and pump their chest out and play those games. So enough about World Cup. Just joining, let's run through the points of discuss. What is wrong with the value or valuation of Nigerian players? You see a youngster from Brazil, before he plays a match, 20 million euros. Meanwhile, Nigerian player will be like 90,000 euros before he signed to be signed by a club. What's affecting the valuation? Let me know in the comments if you get to watch this. And then of course, then you see people like Akko Adams who will score double-digit goals. He's still going to newly promoted side in Venezia. We don't know what their plan is, but let's see. But what is causing this sort of thing? You've seen Eletu going again to play in Serie C. Meanwhile, top-rated talents like him, they end up playing for top-level Belgian club, top-level French clubs, or then get moved to Premier League. What is wrong with the valuation of Nigerian players? Shane was giving his perspective, the agents, talk about agents, talk about other things as well. I've talked about other things too. I've talked about the narrative around our players also affects them around the narrative around the league affects them as well. But let's know what you think in the chat. So this point is coming towards the end of this video, this live stream. It's been 2 hours plus on here. Thanks everyone who's been on here. Sean, thank you for being on here as well. And see you on yet another video for sure, for sure, for sure. Take care, my brother. Thank you so much. Peace. Thank everyone else for being on here as well. Everyone who's been on here as well. Thank you. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and do visit the channel shop Prime Land. You can get yourself branded hoodies, t-shirts with memorable messages on there as well for your keypad, for your laptop. If you use a separate keyboard, you can get a resting pad for your keypad, for your mouse as well. So just patronize the shop if you want to, and then keep subscribing to the channel. And then we've talked about 2 transfer news that made the round today. That's why this stream started a bit late. Wisdom, Daniel James has joined KE Kent. Very exciting move for the player. He's a wonderful, talented player. He's a winger. Let's see what happens. And then, of course, Aurel Lua has signed a deal to 2030 with AIK. So that's nice moves and nice discussions. Nice to have you on here. Hopefully you join on other you join us for on other shows that will come up on this channel. And as well, when Premier League starts, we'll be definitely having post-match reactions to games on here. Hope you join us. But at this point, come to the end of the video. Stay well, stay blessed. Peace.